to get into the, get back into the program, because that is exactly what we experienced all of yesterday and into the wee hours of this morning. Rain, and more rain. Let's continue with the conversation as promised. We'll put the rain on pause now and we'll warm things up and head across to our Digipreneur segment. Keron Rose, digital strategist, he joins us on the Zoom line to talk about digital strategies, and this one, a very important one, 5 key digital assets for businesses. Keron, great to see you. Good morning. Here's hoping all is warm and cozy on your side.
Yeah, good morning, and once again, thank you for having me, and I'm trying to keep as warm as I can.
That's right. Now, we're talking here digital assets for businesses. First, to begin with, for those even hearing the term for the first time, how could we even define or describe a digital asset, as it were?
So your digital assets, these are going to be some key things, some key platforms and tools that every business should have in this digital world. And, I came with 5 key assets that everybody should have at this point. And that's going to better describe it as soon as we start to go down the line. So let me start off with the first one. And this is the most important one. All right. Now, I don't know if you recall, but 2 days ago, Instagram went down. Did you notice it?
No, I didn't notice. So this would have been what, Sunday or Saturday?
This would have been Sunday evening. Instagram had gone down, right?
Okay.
Now, we know that social media platforms tend to go down on a regular basis, right? And the people who freak out the most are those who are only on social medias. That being like, that's the only platform you are using to get your audience, to connect with your audience, to get sales, to get leads, right? But we don't own these platforms. So number one, the most important digital asset for every business, especially in the Caribbean, is your website. Your website is the only platform on the internet that you have full control over. It's even more important for businesses in the Caribbean because any of the sales and e-commerce tools that are available on social media in some of the other countries like the US, Canada, the UK, Australia, they are not available in the Caribbean, meaning that if somebody were to go to Facebook shop, they cannot purchase from you directly on Facebook or purchase from you directly on Instagram or TikTok. You would actually have to drive those people back to your website in order to complete that sale, right? And nobody can ban you from your website. That's the most important digital asset every business should have. That's the first one.
Definitely. What's the second most important digital asset?
Yes, so we're going back to ownership. Again, we don't own social media. So the second most important asset you want to have is your email list. Your email list is a great way where you can actually own the relationship with your clients, your audience, and anything that you send them via email. Again, there's no algorithm there stopping you from communicating with them, right? So you want to start building your email list because you own all of that data and there's no algorithm. Start to channel your traffic, your audience from social media and get them to subscribe to your email list. That is your second most important digital asset.
Interesting. As we move now to the third.
Yes, and number 3. Now, we all have apps on our phone, and we know that apps tend to send us notifications on our devices. However, if you do not have an app, because it can be quite expensive for businesses, and not all businesses is it going to make sense for you to have an app. The third most important digital asset is something called web push notifications. What that allows you to do now is if you're driving traffic back to your website, there's going to be a little pop-up that says, hey, do you want to subscribe to this platform's notification list? Once people do that, you're going to be able to send notifications to people's smartphones, their tablets, and their desktops without having an application. And once again, you own that relationship and you can now push out all sorts of notifications to your audience that subscribes.
Is there a cost factor for the web notifications?
So glad you asked. Great question. There are free packages, right, that allow you to send like up to 2,000 notifications a month. And then if you're, a larger company where you want to get into segmenting different audiences or sending a whole lot more than 2,000, then there are some paid packages. But even myself as a small business owner, I'm still on the free package. So most people are going to get away with the free packages.
Excellent. As we move across to the fourth strategy.
Yes, the fourth one. So everything in the digital world is about data. Are you collecting data on your audience, and are you understanding the data that you collect in order to build your strategies? So the fourth digital asset is your data analytics tools. Those take the form of things like Google Analytics, Bing Webmaster Analytics, also things like Hotjar, Google Search Console. These tools collect so much data, 10 times more than social media gives you, and they're gonna allow you to understand your audience so that you can make amazing business decisions. Your data analytics tools, that's your fourth asset right there.
And as we head across now to the fifth, I look forward to hear, it must be social media.
So actually, the fifth asset, right? The fifth asset that I want all business owners to have is something called your customer relationship management tool, or your CRM. Your CRM manages your relationships with your customers. It's going to track, how you're communicating with your customers. It's going to track, what type of money are each customers making with you? Also, again, if you have things like social media and your platform, these tools connect into your CRM so you can see exactly how people are finding you. Are they finding you via Google, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube? It's going to track where your customers are coming from. And also, when you connect your social media platforms, it's going to track to see, are your posts, are your content actually making you money? So we know people are creating content 24/7, posting it on social media. Your CRM is going to show you, hey, this specific post on Facebook generated 1,000 impressions. Of the 1,000 impressions, 500 people clicked to your website. Of the 500, X amount subscribed to your email list. And of those people, X amount of people have purchased products on your website, and will actually calculate the ROI of every single post that you are doing, so you know what works and you know if your marketing is actually making you money. That rounds out my top 5 digital assets for all business owners.
Wow, listen, I'm taking notes. So we started off with the website. Most important, you own that. You could manage. You could manage your you can narrate, you could basically, that's you.
It's your space. And for Caribbean, you can sell via your website. We cannot sell via social media in the Caribbean.
Well, look at that. Email list, important. You have your database now, very important, especially for those in entertainment. I know that's a big deal for mass bands and promoters. Our email list, that is gold. I know that for sure.
Yes, even when you're doing company valuations, they actually look at the size of your email list, because that's a key asset. Yeah,
that's gold right there. So you have now your web notifications, which you would have mentioned. There are packages you could totally free. You could push out web notifications into now data and the CRM. I want to ask you, you'll need someone, especially if it's a business that is vibrant and it's everyday, things are pumping. Clearly, you might need someone to manage this. I can't see a business owner. Will a business owner have time to really manage this on their own, or you'll have to hire someone to really streamline and to put this in a gear?
Great question. It can be both. We know as small business owners, sometimes you got to be the chief cook and bottle washer. I know I've learned everything, because when I started my smartphone business, I had to learn all of these things for myself, because I wasn't in a financial position to hire somebody, right? So you can learn some of these things for yourself. If you do not have the finances to pay somebody to do it, you better have the time to learn how to do it yourself and implement it. And as soon as you start to get some finances and you can now hire freelancers, you can go to places like Fiverr.com, Freelancer, or look online locally and see who you can start to hire as a freelancer if you're a small business. And naturally, the bigger businesses that have those resources to pay people are definitely going to hire dedicated people to manage all of the digital assets.
Yeah, well said. Well done. Keron, any closing remarks as we wrap up this week's installment?
Yeah, no problem. If you want to learn more about your digital assets, please visit me at keronrose.com and you can ask more questions. This is critical for all businesses to understand, especially the website and e-commerce part, because if you want to sell nationwide across Trinidad and Tobago, or you want to start selling to customers outside of Trinidad, you need to have your website in a gear. That way you can process payments and people can do business with you. This gets us away from only serving customers who are within a small radius of our business. Again, if you're in Chagaramas, you're not going to expect people from Mayaro to drive up all the way to you to do business. So your website, e-commerce, understanding these things is going to now expand your business. You're going to be open 24/7 and you're going to be able to sell all the time. That's it for me on this week's Digipreneur.
Hey, thank you so much, Keron. All the best and great information that, I mean, I taken notes like I'm in class here, partner. Trust me. Well done. Thank you so much.
Love it. See you next week.
All the best, Keron. That's right. We come out of the digital conversation and we segue into health and wellness. Up next, conversations on cancer. We get into a very important one. We're going to touch on smoking, vaping as it pertains to teenagers. Conversations on cancer. Up next.